Kia ora, ko Lysandra tōku ingoa. I'm the tūmariki at Glenbrook School from the Greater Franklin area. So at Glenbrook School, our process is heavily tied into what we do with the everyday business, but also around our style of inquiry. And within that, we have something called an SLP, which is called a strengthening learner practice. So it talks about puzzle practice, pedagogy, all those puzzles coming together. And it's quite cool actually, because you get to see our teachers show their strengths and all the great things that they're doing in the classroom, but it's also tied up within compliance, accountability, but within the standards itself. But more importantly, it helps shift the student achievements and outcomes in our school. So that's great. So what that looks like in our school is right from the beginning, we run a style of inquiry in our core process, and it's the doubled loop learning that we do with Casa and Halbert. And so we would take our data, we would set what that looks like for our priority students, and then our team would come together as a staff, and in our first staff meeting we're setting that collective goal. So in our school, when you're looking at your teacher goal for the year, everyone has the same goal. Now the autonomy is how you reach that goal, because it's based on the students in the class that you've got in front of you. And the great reason that we do that is so that all our resourcing, everything we do is around prioritising for that. If you don't have the resources in that to prioritise it, then of course your inquiry model of any kind is going to be weakened. And so because we do that, I've got a wonderful team leader that runs this, my Deputy Principal Amy Greenstock, and then what she will do is throughout the year, she would plan what that looks like across each phase, whether it's a scanning, a hunch, a scope, everything is planned for and resourced for that, with all our teachers being involved, including doing a scope with our students. Then we come back, we look at the data, we'll look at some PLD that is run within, because we've got some strong practitioners in our school that go all out to helping those teachers meet those goals. And within that we have our teacher mentoring process, we have our coaching process as well. Now within that we've got that process of an observation, and traditionally observations can get really scary, right? Because you feel you're coming in to have a million things looked at. Well, at Glenbrook School it's a fantastic process, and it is all about growth. It is not about a compliance check, it is not about coming in and finding what someone's doing wrong. It is all about capturing the great stuff we've got going on in our classrooms, and then identifying what that next goal is going to be with the teacher. And that's exciting, because that's what partnership looks like, right? So we love that. So we'll do something called a co-plan, co-teach, the old model, and basically what you're doing with the teacher and the coach, they will sit down. Now, although my DP might run that and lead it, she's not necessarily the coach of that teacher. It might be a team leader, it might be your mentor, it might be your PRT coach, and really it depends on where you are within the cycle or within your journey of learning. And we take our time as leadership to really think about what that learning relationship and partnership is going to look like across the year. Once they've done their co-plan, co-teach, we staff it again, because our whole priority is building around this process to drive teacher outcomes and student outcomes. And so once we've done that process, where teachers released to go back and have that conversation with a team leader or coach or mentor, and then that feedback is then going and given. Now the great thing with our teachers is we do this through Google Sites. We've done Google Sites for the whole entire time I've been at Glenbrook School, and so any teacher that's been in our school will have that across the year. They've got all that evidence, and you can see the shifts of capability. Then you take that process and then it's linked into our whole school, looking at data, all our priority students, identifying the strengths of our teacher capabilities, identifying our next steps. So by the end of this year, or end of a year, you get this amazing picture of all the great strengths and growth that we've had across all our classrooms, not just with our priority students and the goals that we're working on, but also around our teacher capability. And I love that. I love celebrating that. I get to know where our learners at our adult level, which are our staff, have achieved that year. That is then given to our board in a report at governance level. And that's really important, because what you need from your board of trustees or your board of governors is to help you make those decisions going into the next year, because you want to resource that. You want to resource it from staffing, you want to resource it from a PLD, and you want it to be purposeful, not just something grasped out of the air. There's so many important things we've got to do at the moment, but you have to choose what you're going to prioritise. You have to prioritise building teacher capability, strengthening teacher capability, to value your staff so that they can be the best teachers, to give the best outcomes for our kids, because that's all that matters. and we love that at Glenbrook School.